You're watching the News Channel 15 Highlight Zone with Glenn Marini. Sports coverage you can count on with the Highlight Zone starts now.
It's a victory win.
We know that they don't like us. They run first, run it down your throats type of team.
Carnivore predator, never been a settler. Here to take over, you can see we a better force.
Hitting them harder, getting our job done.
Not caring what anyone else says, we're going to bring it 150%.
They know that it's a long road. They know what Friday nights are.
I'm very pleased with the tenacity of the kids, and that confidence breeds courage.
Oh, there was a fog around northeast Indiana this morning, but perhaps the fog is lifting across the SAC. Yeah, coming into the night, Bishop Dwenger, the clear team to beat in the conference, but Carroll, they've already played the role of giant killer this season. Andy McDonald joins us with your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. Andy.
Hey, thank you, Glenn. Back in week 2, it was Carroll knocking off the two-time defending conference champ, Snyder, by 24. It's one of the most impressive wins in the SAC this season, but the only one. The one team that's undefeated in the conference, the chase for the victory bell, it goes directly through Dwenger. Bishop Dwenger at Carroll. It's your Highlight Zone Game of the Week. The Chargers, they looking to bounce back from a loss to Northrop. The Saints, they beat Homestead last Friday in a tight one. Carroll won the toss. They took the ball, then made a statement. Gavin Vogt to Nathan Hara for the TD. 7-0 Carroll after 1. After a Saints fumble at the 1, Chargers backed up. Vogt scrambles. TJ McGarry there for the sack. Alec LaShore, sure hands, falls on it. Vogt heard the sternum on the play. He wouldn't return in the first half. Less than a minute to play before the break. This certainly changed the momentum. Sophomore QB Brendan Lytle up top. Of course, Griffin Eifert comes down with it. Yeah, down at the 1, Tippmann, and the Saints pounded in. Dwenger goes for 2, gets it. They're up 14-7 at the half. But in the second, Saints, they move it to a 21-7 game, and Vogt tough with 2 Fs. He pushes through the pain, and the Chargers gunslinger finds his favorite target, Camden Childers, 21-14. Just a 1-score game in the 4th. This Saints defense, though, came up bad last week. Deja vu. Sam Obergfell with the pick in the back of the end zone. One of 3 Saints INTs on the night. Then Dwenger winding down the clock in the 4th. Devin Tippmann rumbles in the end zone. Dwenger 5-0, stays undefeated. They beat Carroll 34-14.
A win like that is huge. They're a great team. They fought hard. I know they struggled a little bit this year, but they are a great team. They're greatly coached. They got a great O-line. Their quarterback's phenomenal, and it felt really good to come out here and shut them down.
We just got to keep doing us and not really change our game, but just play more physical. We just knew we had to get a big gain, and there was a little time on the clock, so we just went for it and went up and grabbed the ball.
I couldn't be prouder of them, and to keep that play alive and to make that throw and Ife to make that catch, that was a huge momentum play for us, and thank goodness it went our way.
No mullet for Griff. He says they're off limits at Dwenger. Dwenger, they host Concordia next week. Carroll hosts Southside. Glenn, back to you.
I'm sure his mom, Julie, does not want the mullet. Hey, last year, this game was played at Lucas Oil Stadium. We're talking Homestead and Snyder, hoping they make it down to Indy for Week 15. That was Jesse Bates, who played at Lucas Oil Stadium a couple weeks ago for the Cincinnati Bengals. Third quarter, it was 9-7. That's Anias Lockett. He had 162 yards. That was a touchdown, and it's 16-7 Snyder. Homestead moving the football here in the 3rd. It's a first down, but the Snyder defense would hold. Let's go to the 4th quarter. Who else but Lockett in for the touchdown? It's 23-7 Snyder, and then the Snyder D would shut the door. Giannini Belizaire and Tavion Ruckless combined for the tackle for a loss, and Snyder beats Homestead 23-7 at Spooler.
We have to come out here with the mentality to win, because we already knew that our opponent was very, very good. So we just have to come out with the mentality to win.
Very proud of our team, our coaches, our kids fought like crazy. We didn't play our best, for sure. We did not play our best, but we found a way to win, and that's a sign of a resiliency of a good team.
Homestead hosts Northside next week while Snyder is at Wayne. Speaking of that Northside team, oh baby, we got one that you're going to want to see. With wins over Carroll, Homestead, and Concordia, Lewis has the best body of work coming into the night, right? Well, Northside's pretty darn good as well. At least they would be this evening. Second quarter, 21-6. Northside lures counters. That's Norman Kanacki to Jay McJohnson for a touchdown. It's 21-13 Northside. Ronald Collins III, RC3 with a touchdown, 28-13 Legends. Kyle Lindsay, that is not his happy face. He would like this. Kanapke finding Jordan Presley, and you give the man space, he's going to race all the way to the end zone. 28-20, though, Lures trailing. Then right at the end of the half, Arvante Taylor, 37-yard field goal. And yeah, Northside goes on to shock Lures. It's the Legends with their first win in the Mike Brevard era, 52-49 over the Knights.
Oh, it feels great. This is our first win in 2 years. It's just amazing. Like, we've been working so hard and we finally got what we needed. So we just finally executed, and it's so good to have success.
Our biggest thing was, just finally putting it together. Offensively, our goal this week was the red zone. Last week versus Wayne, we got down there several times, but we just couldn't put it in. And, tonight we put it in, but we was having trouble stopping them. And it came down to the end, and we pulled it out.
Gotta feel good for Coach Brevard and those guys. Hey, Wayne head coach Derek Moore likes to call his speedsters Lambos, like Lamborghinis. None with more horsepower than Ohio State recruit Craig Young. More on him in a second. First quarter, though, kind of sloppy. On the fumble, Cameron Johnson recovers for Wayne. 3 fumbles in the first 3 minutes of this ball game. Roosevelt Norfleet saying he didn't like that. Southside's defense steps up here, though. It's Dylan Perryman. Number 71, the big guy making plays in the backfield, but Wayne's offense would take over from there. We're still in the first. Handoff to Chris Thomas, and Thomas is gone. 29 yards on the touchdown carry. It's 6-zip Generals in the lead, and then those Lambos would step on the gas. Brandon Young to Craig Young. You think Urban Meyer's going to like him in Columbus? I think so. He's in your living room. What's up, Craig? Touchdown, Wayne. 35-8. Generals roll. Last stop in the SAC. The Bruins knocked off Carroll last week. Could Northrop keep it up this time against Concordia? Well, early on, it looked like, Bailey Mirzo to Quaylen Pettis, and Q is gone. 46 yards on the pitch and catch, and Northrop stakes itself to a 7-zip lead, picking right up where they left off. Later in the first, how about the ground game? Jeremiah Green pounds his way into the end zone, and Northrop up 14-zip. Yeah, Concordia fans not knowing what to make of it. They know what to make of this. Second quarter, Jake Bird scrambling, Jake Bird throwing, and Tyler Grossman catching. 66 yards on the connection there, and Concordia down early comes back to win it against the Bruins. 42-30, Cadets victorious. Well, that's a wrap tonight in the SAC, but some huge games outside the city tonight. In the Northeast State, perennial powers East Noble and Leo, they would clash at Lions Field, and this one came down to a gritty fourth quarter. Plus, Adams Central looks to stay atop the ACAC standings, while Busco looks to do the same in the NECC. We'll also head to Norwell, DeKalb, Huntington North, Bluffton, Woodland, Central Noble, Garrett, and West Noble, all up next in the zone.
What's going on? I'm Rod Smith with the Dallas Cowboys. I graduate from Carl Harding High School, and you're watching the Highlight Zone.
In case you haven't noticed, you've got linemen in front of you that work their butt off. Linemen, listen to me. They depend upon you. They want you in front of them. They can't get to the promised land without you. You get on the highway and do your magic.
That is Central Noble's Trevor Tipton in the locker room tonight. You're going to hear more from him Wednesday at 6 in our 2-minute drill segment. Now, meanwhile, last season the Northeast State title was split 3 ways. East Noble, Leo, and New Haven each getting a slice of the proverbial pie. 2 of those front runners going head-to-head tonight. We're talking the Knights at the Lions, and we had ourselves a good one. Third quarter, tied at 21. A.J. Restivo, the senior quarterback, unleashes the right arm Peyton Wall from the windows to the wall. All the way in. 28-21, Lions in the lead. East Noble, they fire right back. They do it on the ground. Jacob Van Gorder with the touchdown. And after 3 quarters, we're tied at 28. Fourth quarter, Caden Harshberger into the end zone. Harshberger and Bailey Parker combined for 356 rushing yards in this one. 4 rushing touchdowns between them. That was your game winner. East Noble takes it 35-28.
Oh, they're a really good team. They're really tough on defense, and they can power run the ball and throw. on offense, and then they're a really good team. It was a great game, but we just pulled it out at the end.
We had to figure some things out defensively, and we did. We played pretty well in the second half, and I thought Caden Hirschberger and Bailey Parker and those guys offensive line, just an unbelievable job.
East Noble hosts Norwell next week while Leo travels to Belmont. New Haven coming off a dramatic win against Leo last week. The Bulldogs in Ossian for a date with an improving Norwell team. That is the sack there by Norwell's Gavin Laley. It's 14-zip New Haven in the third. In the fourth, Eli Riley looking and finding Levi Leidig with the touchdown, and that cuts it to a 14-7 game. Later in the fourth, Tim Jordan on third down. They do not pick up the first, so New Haven would have to punt down, or up, I should say, 14-7. Norwell trying to tie it up here, but Eli Riley's pass is incomplete, and New Haven hangs on to win this one, 14-7 at Norwell. Moving on, we got a game up in Waterloo. We're talking about Columbia City and DeKalb. In the first quarter, Jacob Bolt, the senior, with a nice pick to save a touchdown in the end zone for Columbia City. Second quarter, Kyle Dunham with the QB keeper for DeKalb. That's the first score of the game. The Barons up 7-zip. How about more from the Barons? He's stout on defense. Peyton Stout on defense. The interception there with right about 2 minutes left in the half. And then it's Tanner Jack, the sophomore, takes the handoff. He's in. And DeKalb wins a close one over Columbia City. Barons 28, Eagles 21. Final game of the Northeast State, Belmont and Huntington North. In the first quarter, it's Huntington North, the fighting Burnaws, working it on offense. Logan Hippensteel finds pay dirt on a 10-yard touchdown, and it's 7-zip Vikings. Then it's the Vikings doing it on D. Chandler Beatty, ball out, and he pounces on it. Huntington North taking control. You're going to see Brett Kaler, the quarterback, with the snap, and he's in from 1 yard out. 14-0 Huntington North, and the Vikings weren't done. Second quarter, Logan Hippensteel from 12 yards out. He's in as Huntington North wins by 20 over Belmont, 34-14. In the ACAC, Reading Conference champ Adams Central going from Monroe to Monroeville. Yeah, Jets making the short drive to Heritage. Pick it up in the second quarter. That was Parker Bates with the QB keeper, and it's 28-zip Jets, and they were not done. Parker Bates looking and finding Mr. Versatility himself, Logan Macklin. He picks up 22 on this catch and run. He was a Fab 15 selection last year as a junior and working his way into another Fab 15 selection as a senior. Later, it's Bailey Sprunger. She's a lady. Yeah, that's a 20-yard field goal. She can kick. 31-zip AC as Adams Central wins this one, 45-14 over Heritage. The Bluffton's nickname is the Parlor City. I don't know why, but that's what it said on Wikipedia. Tigers facing Jay County. We pick it up with Gavin King, and he is picked off by Jay County. This is Ryan Schlechte, and the Patriots in business. Watch this pitch and catch. Parker Grimes to Gabe Faulkner. Faulkner's been working out because he rips it away from the defense and into the end zone. Jay County up 6-zip. Bluffton would respond. Daddy Kunk's got some things going on. Gavin King to Kane Thornton, and he's into the end zone, 7-6. Bluffton takes the lead. Later in the first, Everett Johnson, he's been running the ball well for Bluffton this season. He finds pay dirt. It's 14-6 Bluffton. At that point, this game was all about offense. Parker Grimes to Ryan Schlechte here in the second quarter. But it wouldn't be enough, just by one, because Bluffton beats Jay County in a high score, 63-62. Woodland ranked 15th in 2A this week. The Warriors coming off back-to-back wins. They battled Southern Wells. First quarter action, it's not the best snap, and that is Coleman Beeks. He's credited with the sack for Southern Wells. So a good start for Southern Wells, but things went downhill in a hurry because Woodland has a lot of talent on offense. Ben Reedy finding Jack Stuckey. Reedy, 248 yards passing, 5 touchdown passes for Sherwood Haydock and company. It's 8-zip Woodland. Sebastian Spieth, the big guy, 11 carries, $133, including that touchdown to make it 15-zip. Then in the second quarter, you're going to see Reedy to Tristan Crone. That's a touchdown, and Woodland, no problem. The Warriors rolling tonight, 49-zip over Southern Wells. In the NECC, Churubusco up to 5th in this week's 1A state poll. The undefeated Eagles hosting Prairie Heights first quarter. Tom Richards to Jake Falk, and Falk works his way down to the 2. That would set up this. Richards finding Gage Kelly. Kelly 3 catches, 71 yards, 2 TDs in the air, 14-0 Eagles. Second quarter, Panthers Ethan Hoover looking, but who else but Gage Kelly? Yeah, kid had himself a night. He returns it all the way to the 1, and Busco is in business. You're going to see Richards. 2 rushing touchdowns, 2 passing touchdowns for Richards. That's 4 total TDs, 28-0 as Busco goes on to win 49-zip. Central Noble earning a share of the conference title last year. The Cougs not a one-year wonder. They came in 3-1 as they hosted Fremont. First quarter, no score. The Cougars on the 41-yard line and give all 41 of those yards to Nick Rawls. He breaks free for a rushing touchdown as the Cougars take themselves to a 7-zip lead. Cougars D doing it as well. You know Trevor Tipton liked to see this. That's Nathan McDonald and Levi Leffers meeting at the quarterback. Sack for the Cougars. And then it's going to be Nick Rawls. They rule that a lateral, so he picks it up and he goes in. A defensive touchdown for Central Noble. They win it 55-0, the old double nickel for the Cougars. Up in Ligonier, West Noble looking to bounce back after a tough loss on the road last week to Angola. The 3-1 Chargers hosting Fairfield. Second quarter, Nick Mora gets outside the tackles and then gets into the end zone for a touchdown. 41-0, West Noble in the lead. West Noble doing it on offense, West Noble doing it on defense. Logan Somowski with the interception, and then it's Dakota Weigold with the short touchdown plunge, 48-0 there. West Noble goes on to win 51-6 over the Falcons. Our final stop tonight, this is always a good one, a train game going on at Garrett. We're talking Garrett, rival Eastside, third quarter. Craig Smith from Levi Follett. That's a touchdown. It's 20-7 Railroaders, but Eastside down, but not out. In the fourth, Eastside's Joe White to Wade Miller, and Miller will scoot. It's a touchdown that cuts the Garrett lead to 20-14. A minute 15 left. It's White, this time using the legs. The QB keeper, PAT was good. Eastside takes a 21-20 lead, and that is your final as the Train Trophy belongs to the Blazers, 21-20. We got your Highlight Zone Play of the Week coming up next.
Don't go to Hawaii. Play of the Week is next.
We are the Bears! Welcome to Highlight Zone!
All right, it is time to honor the best of the best. We're talking your first Highlight Zone Play of the Week. We got some issues going on graphically, but I'll tell you what, no issues for Jay County, at least not on this play. Parker Grimes to Gabe Faulkner. Watch Faulkner just rip it out of the defender's hands and in for a touchdown. A lot of offense in this one. Unfortunately for Jay County fans, they fell 63-62, but hey, that is your Play of the Week. Let's take a look at some of the games we got set up for next week, and we got some doozies. Snyder at Wayne in a key SAC contest. Concordia at Bishop Dwenger as the Saints look to stay unbeaten. Bishop Lures trying to bounce back after that loss to Northside. They're at Northrop. New Haven at Columbia City, and Adams Central at South Adams. You didn't see the highlights, but South Adams with a win over Monroe Central today. That should be a showdown in Bern. That does it for this week's edition of the Highlight Zone. We'll see you next Friday.